Hello people, right, I had not intended to make this video, but seeing as I posted a set of charts relating to this Euro NZD, I thought I ought to make a video before taking the dog out for another walk. So the reason being, it's not ready to go in my opinion. The 15 minute hasn't closed red. There's lots and lots sort of right with this chart, but there's a lot wrong with it as well, and I'll try to explain why. So first off, the chart came to my attention because I checked the ADR using this thing over here. Don't worry about that, that's just something I was messing around with months ago and I've not got rid of it, but effectively it's I forget what it was called now. Actually, I can tell you what it's called. It's called Mad Dash or MA Dash, and I've got rid of everything but the distance away from the hourly 8 EMA. So it just shows you the pips away from GBP NZD, for example, and so on and so forth. But I digress. I've not got an awful lot of use for it, and I've dumped the EMAs now for the daily open. So if we go back and look at Euro NZD, we've got a a ton of daily highs here, and this was also why this wasn't the greatest chart in the whole wide world, because normally I look for supply and demand areas like this, a clear area, and there isn't one really. I would normally, if I can't find one, I would go to the weekly. In fact, we have got something going on way over here. Oh no, that's high again, isn't it? Just a moment, bear with. Let's put a crosshairs on there, or a vertical should I say. And zoom in, take the scroll off. Sorry, I'm flying by the seat of my pants again. So we have got a distinct area here that has acted as resistance. That's useful to know. Whereas they just ploughed through it here for whatever reason, and remember, we could have all sorts of reasons on daily, but because it took 2 or 3 days to do that. It could have been news related or something, so they've disregarded that support or finally just flown through it, but now they're coming back to test it, which makes a lot of sense really. So if we look at the candles again, they've tested it there, and they've not tested it till now. And you normally sort of, I was taught way back, right from my first mentor, that the way tests work is you tend to get three or four three tests and then it breaks. So we've had 1 proper test, 2 proper tests, but that shouldn't really sway your judgment. It's just sort of something that he who really everything is based on taught me, and it was probably just a throwaway comment, but yeah, multiple tests, so we could probably come back down again and come back up, and then I think it would probably break through, come back and test and carry on. Might do it here, but as we are overextended, that's why I'm waiting for potential pullback. So it's lucky I made this video, because I've found that is more, there's more strength to this. I was about to say I generally look at the weekly, but I was looking at the weekly here and not really taking an awful lot of notice what we've got going on here either, which is a flip point. So where that closed, gap down on the weekly and then pushed on up. So obviously a significant area here, and another level to add to our lower time frame chart to have a look at. So that's not particularly helpful, is it? Because it's obviously been used as support there, but it's way above where we are, which is why I think you know, we need to be careful here, because it's common sense says it's not likely to go another, from where we are now, another 50 pips, especially as it's not you know, it's not, there's not much volume. Maybe the Americans will push up. I can't see why an NZD pair would be pushed up by the American session, but again, I'm applying thought to it, whereas I should be just looking at the charts. So so there's all these dates to me, Mr. Mouse, right? High, that high, that high, that high, and then obviously we'd broken this high with these recent pushes up, so that would become significant as a potential test area to the downside. Oh, that's a flip zone. I didn't put the high on that candle actually. Excuse me. So now to H4. H4, what can we see here? Power is definitely running off. There was a massive move there for whatever reason. Again, it could have been news related, and then we've pulled back. We've created, or we've touched this ascending trend line that has these two valid connection points here. Nothing is valid about the trend line over this side because it's not broken the high there. Not that I'm aware of anyway. Let's have a look under there. No. So H4, we're weakening off, as you can see. H1, again weakening off. Divergence, almost. It's not actual because I don't think we broke the high. No, we didn't. So what are we looking at here? So the short term now, getting on the lower time frames, is we've got this stuff in front of us. Old resistance, and this is quite powerful resistance that's pushed this lower, acting as new support. Excuse me. And then we're looking at the 3 candle reversals. Well, we have actually, according to Aaron's indicator, reversed on the 3 CR, which is the case. That generally causes a pullback to the north side, which is happening, as you can see. A break of support, the low of that green candle, often causes pullbacks to test old support, which you could call this flip zone here as new resistance. Flip zone, in case you're not au fait, is that whole area there, and we can see, oops, wrong, picked up the wrong level. It sometimes does that. That's that whole area there, closed, opened, came down, tested it, created a wick, pushed up, created a wick as well. So clear area there that may well get tested as resistance again before this continues down. We always have to wait for that. It's always prudent to wait for that. If you don't, then you run the risk of either getting taken into a false trade, because it could easily 3 candle reversal to the upside, which is what we're concerned about, and then we need to 3 candle reverse to the downside. Always important. And you know, Aaron's brilliant indicator again, everything's there for you to see. 5-minute chart, the 3CR is just there, as you can see. That's the penultimate low, that's the ultimate low. This would be the reversal. If this did come back and close, we would need a new close to the downside. So that's always important to remember. So we've now got a trend in place. That is a higher high, but we look at that's why I look at the line charts: high, low, lower high, lower low, pulling back to test, and then you could call this swing 1, swing 2, swing 3 is the one that breaks the low, so we don't count all these little bits here. Swing 3 is the low of the, or the bottom of the 3 candle reversal level, pulling back, as I said, to test, and then potentially continue down. There isn't a huge amount of momentum here, which was concerning me. As I said before, we didn't close red on M15, but we've just closed, or we've recently closed red on M15, should I say. It wasn't when I was thinking about making this video. So it's quite important to make sure you're aligned in as many time frames as you can be. H4's got a long way to go, but H4 was the one that's showing sort of it's not actual divergence, but you can clearly see the momentum to the long side is falling off. So you can never assume anything, so just wait and watch. Oh, and the one thing that I was going to say is that and that was why I started to make this video actually, is always watch older stuff. When you're wondering whether the trade is right, go to the left and see what's happened, and you know, look at this. We had the big drop off. We've not had what Simon calls the vol bomb, which I love. We've not had any of that because I'd like to see that somewhere here, but this is just drifting down as opposed to doing something that Simon has coined. Something, whoops, why isn't my mouse working? Something, we haven't got a good example. Here's a good example, although it's not overbought. Great big or powerful green candles, so it's, you know, gone from high momentum to the long side, absolutely crashed to a small candle, or even below zero bar, should I say. Then we've had the pullback there, and then we've continued on down. So we've not got that to look at, but what we have got to look at over here is something that could have caught us into a trade too early. Sorry for all the lines on here now, I do apologise, but you know, when you start to learn to do this stuff, or when you know, master this stuff yourself, it'll become second nature. And I think quite a few of the guys that have picked it up now would agree that, you know, it is just, I sometimes see trades and, you know, I've only sat down at the charts for 2 minutes and I think that can't be that easy. You know, it cannot be. There's got to be something going on here, and it's not. It's because you've trained yourself to spot these simple chart patterns that we talk about, 3 candle reversal on the RSI histo, in your sleep. And in fact, I've got a funny story, but this video will go on too long, so I might do that. It's about a dream and a tweet that happened only 2 or 3 days ago. Anyway, I digress. Look at this. We could have got faked into a possible trade here. Go on the lower time frames. Everything is right for starting to think about the trade. We would have got on the lower time frame here, we've got a 3 candle reversal. You could see that's pulled back. That's done exactly what I was talking about. We would have had to wait for a 3 candle reversal to the downside. We've got that. Then it's pulled back on itself again. This is why sometimes, if you're not careful, you can get caught in too early. So it's done what Aaron would call also a vol bomb there. Then it's pulled back on itself. Not Aaron, Simon. I do apologise, Simon. And it's come back up, but you've still not got, you know, and you've 3 candle reversed to the upside, which again is where this indicator of Aaron's, got that right this time, is so useful. And then it's come back down again, and notice we've not 3 candle reversal to the downside here. There's no I use pink because red gets lost in the red candles. There is no, it hasn't broken the low of the penultimate candle, which is this one here. It hasn't closed below it. So we wouldn't have got faked into that short there. So that's really important. We've followed the rules, followed the path of the 3 candle reversal. It's pushed down, so it didn't give us a pullback here. And then it's pulled back on itself eventually. So that's why we wait for the pullbacks. Always safe to wait for the pull, safest. Then it's 3 candle reverse to the long side. Carried on. There's no short trade. We've 3 candle reverse to the short side. Again, pulled back on itself yet again. And we watch the lower time frames for the pullbacks, remember, so we can clearly see we've pulled back on ourselves here for the 3 candle. Again, why Aaron's indicator is so useful to us. And finally, algorithms, or the institutions, or whatever you want to believe is moving the price, has run out. They've exhausted all the buying power, or the algorithms have just faked people in until people have lost all their money, which is the whole point of these things, finding liquidity. You know, I never really understood that term, or it took me ages, years, to even bother to try and understand it. I just thought it was voodoo magic. But that's what they've been doing, searching for liquidity, grabbing other people's money, or forcing, yeah, I mean, it is, there's no other word for it, grabbing other people's money, your money, if you happen to be in the wrong direction or get greedy or don't follow your rules, not necessarily my rules, but whatever rules you've devised. And then finally, where's price gone? That's your swing 5 we talk about all the time. Very difficult to see the swing 3, 4s and 5s in this, but we can see the 3 candle reversal would have potentially kept us out of the risky trade. But you can also see there's no real momentum to the downside here. You know, 5-minute candles are nothing, and you know, it wasn't until, and all this, look, no momentum until finally it gave way with a big 3 CR here, and boom, gone, because there's just nothing else left. I call it you know, manipulation as opposed to accumulation and distribution, and I also call it exhaustion. They're exhausting the buyers, and that's what it does. So look to the left to just breathe into the trade. You know, I was waiting for this short really, but I'm making a video because I know, you know, I'm going to potentially get faked into the trade because I've looked at this situation here. I know the American session is about to open. I know that creates sideways motion. I know that algorithm is waiting there to catch me into the wrong direction, and I know we've got all of this stuff here. So just be careful, guys. Never take a trade at its face value, especially at this time of day. That's why I love trading London and you know, Frankfurt session, because even as late as 9 o'clock you can get caught into trades in the wrong direction because you've been faked. You know, nice fast moves, Frankfurt, lovely fast moves, the first 15 minutes of or 20 minutes of the London Open, 8 till 8:20 or whatever, 8:15, that Billy bar, and here we go, you know, off they go with the games on a 30-minute chart. We've got a 15-minute, look at these spikes as well. That's always indicative of a potential reversal. So you know, they will mold those candles together as you go up the time frames. 2 15-minute spikes become 1 30-minute spike, and so on and so forth. So lots of nastiness going on here. Never get faked into the trades too soon, but we have broken through a level of support. I can see it there, you can see it on the line chart, which is why we use it. That's created the highest high, which means that is valid support. We've broken through it, we've come back to test it. Potentially we are on our way down, but wait patiently, let the trades come to you, and watch this momentum. There's nothing there at the moment. Okay, thanks for watching, have a good day.